From the center of the universe, Toronto, Ontario, Canada, this is the SDM Show with your host, Rob Cairns. The SDM Show focuses on business, life, productivity, digital marketing, WordPress, and more. Sit back, relax, grab your favorite drink, and enjoy the show. Here is Rob.
Hey, everybody, I'm Rob Cairns. I'm the founder and chief creator of Amazing Ideas at Stunning Digital Marketing. In today's podcast, I have my friend Jason Rouet with me, who was on the organizing committee of Wordcamp Europe. We're going to talk about what it's like to be on an organizing committee of a major flagship WordCamp. Sit back, relax, grab a drink, and enjoy the show. This podcast is sponsored by Stunning Digital Marketing, the agency that can help protect your WordPress website today. Go to stunningdigitalmarketing.com and see what we can do to help you protect your business investment. That's stunningdigitalmarketing.com. Hey everybody, Rob Cairns here. And today I'm here with my guest, Jason Rouet. How are you, Jason?
I'm good. Thanks, Rob.
Oh, glad to have you. So we're going to jump in what it's like to be on a WordCamp organizing team eventually. But before we do, I was going to ask you, what's your WordPress origin story and how did you get into working with WordPress?
Yeah, that's a good one. So I think I started my first website back 10 years or maybe 12 years ago. I think the first one was for my World of Warcraft guild or maybe a Minecraft server. I don't recall exactly, but it was for a gaming community. And when I studied geography in university, I thought, yeah, this is what I want to do full time. So I ended my studies and I worked for a web agency, and then I freelancing a few years, and that's how I became like a WordPress community expert, and I ended up contributing to the WordPress ecosystem directly. Yeah, I think it was a gaming website that started everything.
A lot of people have jumped into technology because of gaming.
Yeah, I guess so.
I'll share with you and the listeners. I'm actually a classic gaming fanatic, so I collect classic gaming machines, and I even have a coin-op machine, like the original arcade-style Space Invader machine from Circuit 1979 in my collection. The original, I bought one, and all the electronics inside are refurbished. I understand that a little bit, so there you go. Welcome. The community you mentioned, isn't the WordPress community kind of special and a little different than most other online communities?
Well, I think so by the size first, because WordPress is more than 30% of the web now. So it gave a lot of people from different profiles, different jobs, origins. So this is kind of, I don't think there is an equivalent in the CMS's world, at least, because Drupal and Joomla are way behind it in terms of size. It's also a welcoming community. We tend to be diverse and as inclusive as possible, even if it's a work in progress thing. It's never finished. This is what I like in the community, that everyone is welcome, and even if you are not a technical person, you can be part of it. If you want to do it, you can find a way of contributing to it. That's pretty easy.
Yeah, and it's one of the only communities I know where competitors talk to competitors. It's quite interesting the dynamics that go on. Like you look at the web hosts and they all have conversations, and you look at the agency owners and we all have conversations, and it's just, and in most businesses you don't see that. So that's kind of what separates it out a little bit, I think.
Yeah, yeah. The agency world is huge in the WordPress ecosystem. So there are a lot of people around the world working with WordPress. It's easier to ask people, are you using WordPress? And that's not easy to find people that will say, no, we are not. Everyone tested it once, or I've done a few projects with the software. So it's kind of very very easy to find people working with WordPress these days.
So true. Um, Recently, the organizing team for WordCamp Europe, which is it was in Athens. Um, it's a great time. You were the sponsorship lead for that WordCamp, which is a big job in itself. How how did that go?
Yeah, so WordCamp Europe is kind of unique at the moment because it's, I don't have to say that, but it's the biggest WordCamp in the world.
Yeah.
There are two of those, WordCamp US and WordCamp Asia, but that's not exactly the same size. Maybe in the future, but not now. Um, so it's a huge event, and it's a volunteer-based job. So that's only thanks to my Five for the Future program. My employer is giving me time to contribute to the WordCamp. So that's, but not everyone is sponsored that way. So I've got a few hours every week to work on it. But we are a team of 100 people each year. Um, and there are several teams, like the budget team, the contributor team, the community, the design, etc. And there is this team called sponsors team, which I led for 2 years. And it's a team of 7-8 people each year, and we are responsible for collecting all the budget from the sponsors, because this is very specific to WordPress, but the WordCamps are very cheap. The tickets are only $50, so that's kind of free in a way, because the sponsors give us the money to lower the ticket prices to the maximum we can. So the idea behind it is to welcome everyone, even if you don't have a lot of money, because we know that the flights, the accommodation is already expensive, and you don't have to pay a lot of money for the tickets. And as soon as you are in the WordCamp, everything is free. The beverages, the food, everything is in the budget. So compared to normal trade show, when you have to pay a lot, even when you are inside the event, WordCamps are managing a lot for people, and you don't have to worry about your expenses during the event. And that's what I like with this kind of format, because it gives people um, a lot of opportunities to network, and they don't have to think about the money at all during the camp. So yeah, and maybe a bit more about the sponsor team. So we worked with around 70 companies each year to collect the money, and the budget is around 1 million euros. So it's a bit more in dollars. I don't have the calculation, but
Ideas.
yeah, that's for a volunteer-based event, that's a huge bag of money. And this is no one is paid for that. No one is trained for it. So it's only thanks to the volunteers that are organizing the camp.
Did you have any issues getting sponsors for this year being a flagship event, or was that mostly pretty easy?
Well, last year in Portugal, it was pretty easy because it was the first in-person event again, post-COVID period. So everyone was willing to be there. And so we didn't add to it wasn't a big effort to find people, find the companies, because they were coming to us. This year, it was a bit different. We still have a lot of companies contacting us directly. But with the North American economy, a few companies had, how is it called, major layoff, and
Yeah,
it
layoffs.
impacted the sponsorships, because when there is a layoff and a cut in the expensive, most of the time it's in the marketing budget first and then in other departments. So we had to be flexible with some sponsors, even big ones, to find another level of sponsorship for them and change a few things. So it was more difficult this year, but in general, it's still very easy to attract companies because they know it's the biggest event. So that's easy. But yeah, with some companies it was more work to to find a solution.
Yeah, there have been major layoffs in our space, especially at hosting companies. It went on for a while, right around the time of WordCamp US, where we saw teams get cut, and we're talking
Yeah.
major multinationals.
Yeah, for example, I will not name people, um, but we had this issue with one sponsor when the point of contact, the event manager, was fired. His boss was fired. I think his own boss, so two level, was fired, and we had no one to talk with anymore. And it was kind of complex uh, because it's on our free time to organize the event. So we had to manage this situation, and that's an extra work to do. But
It's
things
unfortunate.
happen sometimes. That's normal. But yeah,
Did your
sorry.
team manage to come up? Oh, it's fine. Did your team manage to come up with your full budget, Jason, in the end? Like, did you struggle
Yeah.
finding?
Well, budget are flexible, you know. We managed to collect what we had in mind, but no extra money. For example, this year the after party that we are having every year, the night of the last day, wasn't sponsored. And in the previous edition, it was a thing that was sponsored each time. So we had to adapt the budget and the expensive depending on the money we collected. So it's always a game of balance between what we can have from the sponsors and what we will have from the local team that is producing the expenses, presenting them. So we had to lower the number of drinks, for example, that we served to the attendees. We only offered 2 coupons to get free drinks, and then the rest was
On your
from your pocket, from your own pocket. So we change a few things like that in the side, but for the main event, everything was normal. So we had enough money of course, the more we collect, the more we can do with the money. That's that's the rule. We don't have to pay people, so everything goes to the organizing team to organize things.
Now, you've done this for 2 years. I have to ask the question. Are you planning on doing a third, or did you say, I don't
So, yeah. So maybe a bit of context. When you're a team lead, you work like 9 months before
know?
to organize 3 days of event. So that's kind of huge. And so I was kind of tired when I was at the Wordcamp, because you have to manage so many things before. Then you are doing the event, and in a snap, the event is finished because 3 days is very quick. And so I was kind of thinking about what to do next, because we have this unwritten rule that said you cannot be a team lead for more than 2 editions, to let other people take the lead and experience what you have done in the past. So that's a good policy, in my opinion. The thing is, you don't have to do that, but you don't know what to do next. So yeah, I applied for next year, but I'm not sure yet what I will do. I've got some ideas, but that's still something for the global leads to decide who to pick and in which team you will be assigned, depending on your expertise and what you can do for the WordCamp.
You know, it's funny. Before we went to record, you and I were talking that we've both been involved in organizing major events, Wordcamp, myself, many community events in the Toronto area, and we know how much work is involved. And we always know that the only one that sees all the mistakes is all the people on the organizing committee, right? Nobody else sees what we see because we're perfectionists and we want to get this done. So the question becomes, because I've asked this question of myself, is why should someone actually jump into the ring and get involved in helping organize WordCamp US? What would you say? Not WordCamp US, WordCamp Europe. What would you say?
Well, the same applied for WordCamp US, I guess, or WordCamp Asia, or any local WordCamps in the world. Well, I think personally, what attracted me was being able to network with people that are kind of the top influencers or the top um, managers in the WordPress ecosystem. So you, as a sponsor team lead, you have access to every major companies from the space, from the WordPress space. So you are able to talk with people from Automatic at Jetpack or WooCommerce. You are able to talk with people from GoDaddy or Hostinger or whatever are the sponsors in your own WordCamp, and so on, just to name a few. So then you are kind of part of it. You are at the same level of understanding. They need you, you need them, so you can network and connect with people that are making things in our industry, and that's kind of interesting because connecting with people is what drives me. It's all about humans. The word comes. You gather people to learn, to grow together, um, and yeah, to connect, of course. So that's interesting. It's also a way of contributing if you are not, like, I'm a business project manager person. So I'm not a developer, even if I know a few things. I'm not a security expert, even if I know a few basics. Nor been I'm not a designer also. So I just have the community on. I can be involved in that. I can do things, and that's the whole different with. I will never be a developer from the core, um, from WordPress core. I don't have the expertise to do that. So yeah, that's all about networking. That's all about learning from others, and also the WordCamp Europe is kind of specific because compared to local WordCamps, there are people from all over the world, from different culture, different languages. English is just a language to to connect together. But if you are French, like me, you can connect with other French people going there. If you are Greek, you will meet Greek people. You will also connect with people from all over the continent, but also from other countries, from North America, from Asia, from Africa, whatever, from other continents. So that's the only place where you can meet WordPressers from all the communities, and this is exciting.
I I think so. And the only other place I think besides running a big word camp, honestly, is running a podcast because I find I get the same level. Like I've talked to automaticians right up to Matthias Ventura on the show, who's the lead Gutenberg lead. I've talked to people at most of the major hosting companies. So I think that similarity is there, but I would agree with you. The reason they get involved in running anything is getting to meet people and network people. And I think uh, I think that is a little bit of the push.
Ye- yeah, yeah. In the digital world, podcasts are the way to connect with a lot of people. I'm convinced it's a format that is very attractive and easy to. It's easy to connect with people from. You just need internet, a good microphone, a headset, and that's all. A, a PC, a computer, of course, but and then you can talk with you in your
Yeah.
show. But that's interesting. Yeah, I think what can US and Asia will are similar to Europe. It's just that the size is different. But
It's
you will find the people that are that are known, um, and it's easy to connect with people during camps. People are super easy to connect with. They are there. You just have to introduce yourself and go for it. That's kind of easy.
having been on the organizing for 2 years. What would be your three things that you learn the most about either the community or about what you did or you'd like to do over? Could you share some of those?
Yeah. The first thing was, I think, um, adapting to other cultures is not always easy. It's
Yeah,
something you need to work on. For example, this year we had in the team three French people, one from Germany, one from Netherlands, one from Greece, one from Spain, and one from Great Britain, United Kingdom. Sorry. So with different level of language, with different cultural um, um, issues sometimes. So we have to be patient and talk and be friendly with the rest of the team because eh, everyone needs to learn something. So that's maybe the first thing. Then communication is hard because we have a lot of time zones. from the US to Asia, because we have sponsors from the US, for example, Europe and India, Bangladesh, Pakistan, Singapore, other countries, Australia maybe. So it's something we need to have in mind, because we are sending emails with 8 hours from one place to another. So that's kind of it was new for me. And then, yeah, communication internally with the other organizers, externally with the sponsors. That's something to learn, and that's very, very interesting. And
Well,
maybe
you're
then, yeah, the pricing, because we had to think about the strategy, the pricing, the flow plan, how to place a booth for a super admin, which is the top level of sponsorship, and how to deal with the SMBs booth, which is just a table, but we have 30 of them to place on the floor plan. So that's kind of a logistical nightmare. um,
it's
but we have a
challenging.
it's
Yeah.
challenging, exactly. But we have a good contractor to help us on the logistical side, so it helps a lot. But yeah, how to price a level. The top one this year was 80k euros, and
Yeah.
the little one, the SMB, was 2.5k. So there is a huge difference. Um, is it the right price? Could they pay more or less? How to make a profitable event, because we cannot lose money, because then the foundation, the WordPress Foundation, which is the legal entity backing up the events, will have a problem eventually. And if we are profitable, it will help give local WordCamps some budget directly. So that's not an easy task. Yeah.
Oh no, I can remember back to my event days, and it's hard because the SMB that doesn't pay as much as a say a gold sponsor wants the same exposure. And the reality of sponsorship is, I hate to tell people, the more money you pay, the more exposure you get. It's very simple. I mean, it's not, and that comes into the whole floor plan issue. Like the more you pay means you get the more prime location. Right? It's just the way it works.
Exactly, and you need to educate them, at least the newcomers,
Yeah,
because, like, for example, Jetpack is part of the community since the beginning. They,
yeah.
they, they know how WordPress ecosystem and community is behaving. They know the unwriting rules. They know the feeling. They know how to feel. This is something you can do. This is something that will lead to a bad buzz. Um but for newcomers that are not part of the community for long, or that are kind of outside of the WordPress bubble, they need to understand how the WordPressers think about the community and how it's organized. You cannot do aggressive marketing things like in any normal trade show. You cannot display a billboard of your brand on the hotels in the city. That's not something that is that
Oh,
it's not something to do. You need to go there, understand the community, how it works, and it takes some time. Um, and sometimes some sponsors are coming to the event and they are searching for direct ROI, direct KPI, and that's not the best thing to do. It's more about brand awareness, about making some demo to your customers, talking with the community, having some feedbacks. It's more about customer relationship than business oriented event. And sometimes some sponsors don't understand that because they are not used to it, and they need to learn about it, and we need we are kind of the keeper of this spirit as organizers, and we need to educate them to consult on that issues and help them understand what to do and not. So that's also part of the job, kind of.
And sponsoring an event, frankly, is a long game, not a short game. It's not a we go to
Exactly.
an event, make big sales, and we walk away smiling faces with dollar signs. It doesn't work. Um, so we talked about some of the things you learned. What was for you the most exciting thing you did in the US? Not US, Europe, sorry, at WordCamp Europe.
Um, well, I didn't had a lot of time to attend the conferences because I was kind of managing the sponsors during the event, but I attended Matt Millenvig keynote um, with um, with this presentation of the future of Gutenberg, the editor of WordPress. Um,
Yep.
and I think it was, how is it called? Matthias. I think he is the Gutenberg architect,
Yep.
and he presented the future of collaboration inside the Gutenberg thing, like something close to the experience you can have on Google Drive when you are typing text and someone else is um, typing something else. So you see in live what the other people in the document are doing, and so this is gonna be something inside WordPress directly. So the editorial teams will be able to collaborate on a post or a page directly together in live. And this is kind of exciting because we are talking about it since a few years already. And now it's in beta, so it will be in WordPress in maybe not this year, but maybe a first beta next year or the year after that. So it's very close to be integrated to the CMS, and this is kind of uh, a great change for me because I'm working for a web agency and I'm working with editorial teams at my clients, and they are seeking for those features since years already, and it will be very, very interesting how it will be integrated.
What I would suggest is that that's the feature you're looking at using to listeners is make sure you get some good hosting. It's time to get off that $2.95 hosting package. That's just not going to cut it with the resources of collaboration. And working for an agency, I have to break out to this conversation because what would be a podcast without mentioning the two letters AI these days, right? And how does you and your agency feel about the whole artificial intelligence spectrum?
It's early edges. It's still the far west. Um, I didn't explore it very much yet, but I'm seeing more and more uh, interesting way, creative way of using it. Um, it could be for developers with like Copilot, GitHub Copilot thing that helps you complete your code automatically. Um, I'm not saying it's a tool. That's It's just a tool that will help you be quicker on some quantitative tasks and be focused on quality code. But some code is something that you will use in every project. So why not giving that task to an AI to help you be quicker and focused on what is very important. Um, right now, we it's just personal projects, but I know a developer in my web agency is educating the AI to understand his code and help him find some problems before deploying it live. So, PHP test, unit test is a thing since a few years, but adding AI on that section is making it more powerful, more intelligent. Well, intelligent is maybe not the right word, but it's more useful. And writing tests is always hard. It's always very, very long. But leveraging, I don't know, ChatGPT or Copilot to help you build your scenarios, and then you will be able to test your code with it. It's 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 totally new. We never had some such tools before, or it costed a lot of money before. Now it's, I don't know, 10 euros, 20 euros a month just to
They're
to
not,
to have
they're not
access to something like that. So yeah, I think we are not very in advance with those tools. I saw the web agencies using it to write documentation on Jira automatically. For example, having some kind of change log automatically written by the AI, which is like incredible because it's a lot of time to write those things usually. So yeah, that's it will become something that we will use daily in the future. That's for sure. Um, there are
I
a
would
lot of
agree. I'm already I'm kind of already there, so it's worked itself daily
yeah
in my workflows.
yeah. I think a lot of people are already trying to use it in a creative way. Finding, I saw a lot of SEO experts leveraging it to find new topics for their next posts, things like that. It's not totally new, but it's very easy to use. That's the because we we used Excel with automatic thing like to understand the topics that we had to write before. Um, this is with formulas and things like that. But it takes time to write the formulas and to give the data to the Excel to make the calculation, and then you have your spreadsheet automatically populated with your topics, for example. But now you just have to ask ChatGPT, yeah, okay, give me like 10 ideas for my next post, and it will give you 10 shitty thing, and then you will ask him, yeah, okay, but you have to give me 10 topics um, by having a look at this blog, because this is how I want the topics to be named. It will give you another list of not really good topics, and then with 2, 3, 4 more prompts, then you will get something more legitimate. And this is interesting, very.
It sure is. Jason, thanks for joining me today. If somebody wants to reach out to you, what is the bet to talk about WordCamp Europe or anything else? What's the best way?
Well, I'm on the Making WordPress Slack. So search for Jason Rouet and you will find me. If you are not on that Slack, you will find me on LinkedIn, or I'm not using Twitter anymore, but Mastodon if you are on it. So,
Nothing. No.
but yeah, on LinkedIn or on Slack, yeah, for sure.
You're also on the post status Slack, which is
On Post Status Slack, of course. Yeah, huge community, very good. You need to go there.
Jason, thanks for your time. Have an amazing day, my friend. Be well.
Thanks, Rob. Bye-bye.
This show is brought to you by StunningDigitalMarketing.com, your Toronto leader in digital marketing services. Not only do we protect your WordPress website, we can help you with your site, provide social media management for your business, or even do one-on-one consulting. To find out more, go to StunningDigitalMarketing.com. A very special thank you to Jason for joining me on this edition of the SDM Show. Hey everybody, Rob here again. Thanks for listening to the SDM Show. It's such a pleasure to have you every week. If you want more on our agency website, go to StunningDigitalMarketing.com. We are your WordPress security experts. We'd be glad to help you out. If you want to learn more about me, Rob Cairns, go to meetrobcairns.online. From there, you can find links to everything I do on the web, as well as book time with me. So feel free. If you want to make comments about this podcast or know a guest possibly suitable for the podcast, please email us at podcast@stunningdigitalmarketing.com, or conversely, you can go to X, formerly known as Twitter, and tweet at me at Rob Cairns. This podcast is dedicated to my late father, Bruce Cairns. Dad, I miss you very much, and I love you. Please join us next week for another interesting podcast, and have a great week, everybody. Bye for now.